Hello, everybody, whenever, wherever. I hope you had all a good new moon time. For sure, as most of the times, because I'm born under the balsamic moon, and so that time is always a little bit intense for me. So, anyway, here, as I said, I would, when I wrote about the new moon last week, I said I would make a video, and here I am, because there are many things to have a look at. If you have followed my writings, you know that there is this grand square between the lunar nodal axis in the fixed signs of Taurus and Scorpio, and with Neptune in Aquarius and Vesta opposite in Leo. Now, the nodal axis is a very important, let's say, planetary axis. It stays, these nodes, they usually stay for about roughly 1.5 years in the same sign, as they are talking about the evolutionary cycle of the moon, as every planetary cycle is talking about their own path. So the moon got a lot of influence towards, and therefore to us. Some, they may say, yeah, that's not true, but yeah, just only on nature and then separate themselves from nature, yeah. But yeah, some people just don't want to accept it, but they are under it anyway. So, but on a global scale, it's interesting. Taurus, Scorpio, it's about the self. And it's about deep self. It's maybe a bit that what we show towards the outside in Taurus. And in Scorpio, more the inside, the deep ones, the collective level, also the taboos. And oftentimes we just more live in the outside. We only see what is outside, but we do not want to see what is inside, what is deep. And that can sometimes, let's say, be the triggers. Then, if we don't know what we have deep inside, if we don't want to look at that, but something in the outside happens and it triggers us, then there is something that wants to come up, wants to surface. Just like in a dream, an ordinary dream, let's say, as there are many different kinds of dreams, yeah. If you, some of us are maybe a bit more aware or into dreaming and know more about that than other people. So, but let's say that ordinary dreaming is about that we digest, right? And certain things what we had during the day are we are going to integrate, let's say. But there may also be dreams where we are confronted with our needs, with our unconscious fears, with our blockages, and so on. Those are usually the dreams that are not very funny, but can give a lot of insight. In this way, there is the Nodal Axis. We have the North Node in Taurus, and we have the South Node in Scorpio. And the South Node is what we bring, what is there, what we know or should know. And Taurus is more in the physical realms, if you want. But it's also our value system. And as an axis, as I always say, it's polarity, right? They work together. They reflect to each other. So we cannot just one and the other one we keep away. No, it's a working together to find the middle, if you want, to be in harmony, to let that work together. And it's not one is good and the other one is bad, or any kind of judgment like that. It's an axis working together in balance or harmony. I like that word better, in harmony. So this is very important. Also the other axis about Neptune and Vesta. Vesta is our inner fire, our inner passion, and what we are devoted to. And Leo, sun sign, yeah, it's all about shining out, yeah, and how we express, really. We just want to give that all out courageously and confidence, right? So, whoosh. Not overstepping. That would be then an imbalance of the axis, yeah. Neptune stands right there. Neptune. He wants us to see clear. He wants to let us see through the veils, through the mirrors, through anything there is. Look through the bottom of it. What is it? Aquarius. Aquarius is about groups. Yeah, most of all, it's about the future, the human collective, the together, but in a positive, sustainable, all-serving way. Leo is more about the one, the all, and Aquarius more about the all. But when there is no all, there is no one, and when there is no one, there is no all, right? So it goes together. And the idea of having, let's say, somebody joins a group it's not that you have to adapt to the group, but you bring something addition, growing to the group. So, no, you don't fit these rules, so leave. You are none of us. Yeah. You see? What do we vote us to? No? What are we passionate about? What do we want to contribute to the all? And how do we see the all? And what is needed? Yeah? You see that? Very interesting, isn't it? So, maybe they have to work a little bit more on that vaccine or another idea, maybe? No? So, however, we have some more going on. Tomorrow, we'll have the heliocentric conjunction and therefore new cycle starting between Ceres. I never know how to pronounce in English. So, and Chiron. Their geocentric conjunction will be in March. Where do I have that? 14th of March. And so in this time in between, we can already access that new energy. But we are same time also wrapping up that old cycle. Yeah. The old cycle started in 2016 and it was in Aquarius. So, the same time, Venus was approaching both. And now this new cycle will be in the middle of Pisces. The constellations, as always. As you know, I always talking about the constellations. Ceres is about nurturing. But how we nurture others, how we nurture ourselves, and how good can we receive. It's a two-way road, right? It's not a highway in only one direction. It goes both ways. So in that, it's about nurturing. Ceres also has a very strong connection to Earth, also in their orbits. And she has momentary, a very close relationship in orbit with Pallas. That may change. Who knows? Chiron, commonly called the wounded healer. Interestingly, he has a very special orbit. He goes like this and then he makes a loop. And then he goes on. And then he makes this loop. And this loop is very obvious, even in a heliocentric chart. Usually we see it right away when a little loop is going to happen when a planet goes retrograde. But this is a constant, if you want, this kind of loop. And that's what he did in his mythology too, right? He was trapped in a loop and he couldn't heal because he was trapped in his own loop. He couldn't escape that. He couldn't heal until he surrendered. He surrendered to it. He sacrificed it to himself. And that's what he is talking about. Besides being a brilliant teacher, yeah. But sometimes there is interchanging of relationship in a way that the teacher can be a student too, and the student the teacher, right? It's not only, right? I mean, that's what I see in life. As nothing goes just very straight, yeah. Maybe something that we have constructed, and then suddenly we see, like what we did with all the rivers in the nature, right? It's we did make the water flow straight in some kind of canals or something like that, and then we have a lot of problems when there is a lot of rain or whatever. It may overflow or it may dry out. There are no fish anymore and stuff, and then they fill out with some mud and whatever. So lots of problems. And then what we do now, at least I see that in middle of Europe, we try to make them more natural again, so that the whole thing can flow as it is supposed to flow, and also create life again in it, at it, on it, as it should be, without disturbing the people living nearby. Actually, it has less destructive effects like this than when we do it straight, because everything flows in cycles and waves, right? Nothing goes just straight. We don't have that in nature. That's just an idea of us humans that it must be. Yeah. So we have special energy that flows. And we also have now Pluto in Capricorn, like so many others, that are therefore answering to Saturn. Saturn is many people do not like Saturn, right? Because he is about structures. And if we set our structures too narrow, we feel limited, right? So what we can do is just like, okay, build new structures and then we have more space, right? So it's quite simple actually, right? So, but we often we like to just like run through the wall, right? And then we hit hard and we are angry the wall, right? But yeah, maybe we can go around it, or we just, okay, we take that wall down first, and then we can see if we even want to have a wall there. So so many planets or bodies are now answering to Saturn, so he became very, very important to us, and still is. But many planets, major planets, have their nodal axis in the Gemini Sagittarius axis. Where this big stellium used to be last year. And they have started new cycles. Saturn's nodal axis is also there. And so he has also started a new cycle for himself. So did Jupiter, Pluto, Varuna and Phobos. They all started a new cycle. And now they are growing, gathering information, if you want, within their own themes. And so in such a new, I mean, you can look at it like a new cycle. It's like you just planted the seed and it's coming out. It's trying to get information, light, right? The head comes out of the soil, a baby just newborn, yeah. So it's this energy of starting anew and orientating and gaining information and how does this work and where I am and so on, right? And this is the energy they brought into Capricorn. And so, okay, what do we have here? And they all answering to Saturn. He's like the father there, right? And he wants us all to mature, to see what is this, and that it is not fixed. We can change. I mean, we can change our belief system, can't you? Or do you think the same way about certain things that you did? I don't know, depending how old you are, yeah, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or 5 years ago, yeah. We change all the time, right? We just don't really know. It's also a Saturnian thing. Because if anything that is structure, that is manifestation, if you want, that's him. And that's why we are responsible for that outcome. So, in this little presentation, I hope you find some information that helps you to go through the right on the wave and not caught with some. And I wish you all a wonderful time. And we see us soon again because we have to talk more about Chiron and his loops. And also about Uranus and Saturn. But that has still a little bit of time. And meanwhile, I will gather more information. Until then, all the best to you. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button and the bell thing. Anyway, I see you next time. Bye.